and good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to go through my morning routine. Obviously, this is quite a common trend on YouTube at the moment, so I thought I'd kind of jump on the bandwagon, but at the same time, there are a couple of little nuances of the way that I conduct myself in the AM that are a little bit different. So I thought that I would share these things with you and hopefully give you a little bit of an insight of what I do to hopefully kind of keep my body in check and keep my mind in check, obviously, as well as being somebody who likes to train and make sure that I focus on my performance, my health, my physique, and my longevity. I also want to kind of make sure that I double down on keeping my brain nice and healthy, make sure that I can think clearly, minimize brain fog, and be kind of as productive as I can be through the endeavors of my day. And with that, there are a few little kind of habits, tips, and tricks that I have employed and deployed over the last few years to hopefully reinforce. What a perfectly timed yawn for a morning routine video. That wasn't even rehearsed. To hopefully increase the likelihood of those things, both physically and cognitively. I'm going to show you what I eat. I'm going to show you what I drink. I'm going to show you when I have my coffee. I'm going to show you what kind of work I do and when. I'm going to explain to you when I train. I'm going to explain to you when I move my body. I'm going to explain how quickly I need to get direct sunlight. All of these things shall be explained in the next few minutes. Teeth are already brushed. Bed is already put away as I am not at home. I'm still here crashing with a friend in Melbourne. I don't normally sleep on a couch bed on the floor like I was living in a crack den, so this is a slightly niche situation for me. So I'm way ahead of the game. Let's see what's next. Okay, so first thing I do in the morning is pour myself a nice big glass of water and I fill it. I say fill it, I'm actually running out now, with some electrolyte. So I don't have caffeine first thing in the morning. What I do, God, I'm literally running out. So I'm gonna finish all of those. I don't have caffeine for the first 90 minutes. For those of you that have watched any of my other nutrition stuff kind of ever will be aware of this. Your adenosine system, which is the system that caffeine binds to, is not actually active for the first 90 minutes of the day. So your adrenal system, however, is always active. So a nice big glass of unflavored electrolytes, which means they don't break your fast. And I do intermittent fast, so I want to stay fasted. Tastes like salt water, but at the end of the day, you know it's flipping good for you. When you do intermittent fast, electrolyte salts are super good. They kind of help your body break down a little bit of extra visceral fat. They work on your adrenal system, which is active all the time. So they do perk you up a little bit, which could be the physiological response of the electrolytes, or it could be the fact that it's always going to wake you up out of an early morning stupor when you feel as though you're drinking seawater. Nice big glass of this. I'll then move my body a little bit in a second, but the first thing I want to do is make a flipping rapid beeline outside to get some direct sunlight on me to really regulate my circadian rhythms. One of the important things you can do is get sunlight on you as quick as possible for a good kind of 10 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna neck this and let's get outside. So, as I mentioned in my last video on lower body hypertrophy last week, the idea, the narrative, the absolute story that Australia has immaculately sunny weather all the time turned out to be a little bit of a lie. So I'm in Melbourne. It's kind of mid to late November now, so it should be moving into their summer. Apparently they're having like the worst spring ever. So it's not particularly sunny, but still, even though it might feel cloudy, getting some sunlight through the clouds onto your skin, through your eyes, on your face, all the photoreceptors on your skin is incredibly beneficial for your energy through the day and your circadian rhythm. It basically just makes you feel better for the rest of the day. And in about 16 hours, when you should be getting your head down, you start to feel a little bit sleepy. So that's exactly what I'm doing now, going for a little kind of like 10 to 15 minute walk. Normally I'd like to have a little bit more of my skin out, not just out of pure vanity, but also out of the physiological benefit of getting light on your photoreceptors as much as possible. However, with the way that the weather exists at the moment, that ain't gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue doing exactly this and just kind of walking around 10 to 15 minutes, getting a little bit of blood pumping in, getting a little bit of oxygen in my lungs, as well as getting the light. Oh, the sun's coming out. It's looking beautiful. 10 to 15 minute walk, then back home, and then I shall show you what we're doing next. So I'm back, I have been for a walk, I have got some sun, or as close to it as possible. It kind of kills two birds with one stone. I also am a big believer that if I get my kind of respiratory system working a little bit in the morning, even if it is literally for kind of 10, 15 minutes, that is just so flipping hugely beneficial to perk me up in the morning basically. And again, getting some ultraviolet light on your skin is always gonna be good. Now what I'm gonna do, something slightly unconventional. I normally like to do this on grass, but again, it's absolutely bloody freezing outside and it keeps raining. So what I'm gonna do is I'm literally gonna head just behind where you are on onto Keith's balcony, and I'm gonna do about 5 to 10 minutes worth of super basic stretching. Just a couple of different mobility moves. I do some squats, I do some lunges as well. I get a little bit of tissue perfusion to get some blood pumping as well. This is something, however, that is incredibly new to me, so I can't really speak to kind of the effectiveness of this, but I believe it's gonna help. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. But one of the other kind of caveats of the way that I'm gonna execute this is I'm gonna be nasal breathing the whole time. So doing something that's very hard for me, which is keeping my flipping mouth shut and just breathing through my nose. So 10 to 15 minutes worth, a little bit of mobility, a little bit of kind of body weight work, just to, again, just kind of get the tissue stretched out, get a little bit of blood pumping throughout the body, and then we'll come in here for a coffee. But for now, lunges, press ups, nasal breathing, let's go. Bodyweight exercises and stretches done. It has definitely been more than 90 minutes since I've been awake, which means my adenosine system is working, which can mean only one thing. It's coffee time. And coffee is ready. And I shall enjoy this lovely little flipping cup of Arabica whilst I complete my 6-minute diary journal entries. This is a gratitude journal. I do believe, and I've come to believe, I haven't always believed this, at the grand old age of 34, I have to say, when I was in my 20s, I probably struggled with this concept a little bit more, that we don't necessarily, and this might sound a little bit out there, but I don't believe that we just deserve to be happy. This is a bit of a weird kind of concept, but bear with me for a second. Just as if you look after your body regularly, which I imagine most of you do, which is why you're watching this video, I've always struggled with, and I'm sure you guys have struggled with as well, people treating their body like crap, not really doing anything to invest in it ever, and then saying, my body's failed me. And I've always kind of had the narrative of, well, you don't deserve to have an amazing body, to have an amazing physique, performance level, and health. It's something that requires effort, and happiness is something that I have kind of come to realize is exactly the same. You don't necessarily deserve to be happy. We all now have probably more tools at our disposal. We have a hell of a lot more input as well. We have a hell of a lot more natural comparison. We have more options, which may not necessarily be a good thing beyond a certain point, but we do have more tools at our disposal to cultivate happiness and to cultivate a positive, sustainably positive internal state. And that is what the 6-minute diary does for me. It literally takes 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening. I heard about it from Chris Williamson on the Modern Wisdom podcast. I've been using this almost every day, definitely more than 90% of the time for, I don't know, maybe 4 months now, and it does kind of change things. It takes a couple of months, but there are a couple of, it's not just a blank page, there are a couple of cues and questions. As an example, the first thing you're expected to do every evening in your 3-minute entry is recall your good deed of the day. So I now go through, it took a couple of months, but I now go through my day looking at everything I do and my own behaviors through a slightly different lens. And I think I am generally more grateful and generally happier and definitely more considered with the way that I do things. On that note, with my pseudo-philosophical input there, I'm gonna have my 3-minute journal entry. I'm gonna drink my lovely black coffee because I'm still fasted, and then I'm gonna crack on with the rest of the day. So now that that is all done, I've got a little bit of caffeine in my system. I am now off to CrossFit Create or Create Fitness in Melbourne, in South Bank. And basically, I normally have a cold shower when I get up. That is definitely having some kind of cold water immersion is definitely part of my daily routine and my morning routine, which is why I'm showing it to you now. However, instead of having a cold shower, I've gone for the slightly more elite version. And what I am gonna do is I am actually gonna go and have an ice bath at the gym. So I'm gonna turn it on. It takes about 20 minutes to, I was gonna say warm up, to cool down. hopefully not to warm up. It takes about 20 minutes to cool down. I'll then get on with a little bit of admin. I'll have a quick dunk, and then from there, that probably will conclude my morning routine. So it's a little bit different now, now that I'm on the road. Obviously, I've been a few different places this year, and effectively I have certain principles that I want to adhere to, and then the specific morning routine might be tweaked a little bit based on where I am and what I've got access to. So that makes sense, but I attempt to kind of adhere to those principles as much as possible. And having a little bit of cold water immersion. Today's Monday. Everyone's got a little bit of renewed motivation on Monday morning to kind of get things done properly. So I'm gonna go turn the ice bath on, do a little bit of admin and kind of crack on with some coaching, get in the cold water, and we'll see where we are from there. Give it a few minutes. And just like that, that is done. Another video in the bag. That is a little insight into my morning routine. And again, it's a little bit different from normal because I am traveling a lot at the moment. But kind of as I mentioned earlier, as long as you have your core kind of principles that you want to stick to, it allows you to be a little bit more versatile with the way in which they're executed effectively. I have electrolytes in the morning. I don't have caffeine for the first 90 minutes. I make a beeline to get as much sunlight as I can. I like to stretch in the sun. I like to go for a little 10-minute walk whilst getting as much kind of sunlight on my face and my skin as possible. I like to have a little bit of cold water. I like to journal. All of these things, as long as they get done, the order will change. Again, you have to be fairly flexible with the way in which it's executed. But overall, as long as all the boxes are ticked, it's all gravy. Hope you did enjoy that, guys. If you did, please do smash that like button. Any questions on anything, please do put it down in the comment section below. And as always, you gorgeous bunch of legends. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.